Hello, good morning children. How are you? You are all fine? Okay, what we learned in the last class? We completed up to the screening, some of the steps in screening. Today also we are going to continue the screening. Then where we stopped, we completed up to the, what it is that, blotting technique introduction we learnt, no? So before that we learned that electrophoresis, gel electrophoresis. Why we need to choose the cell electrophoresis, gel electrophoresis, to separate the DNA. For what purpose we need to separate the DNA? So if you want to find a crime, for example, even recently we have a problem of baby, parents are fighting for baby and finding the criminals. If any criminal activities done by the patient, persons, if the DNA is collected from the person, and then that will be allowed to undergo the gel electrophoresis process. After that, that DNA trace out has to be taken for permanent registration. For that, we have to go for the blotting technique. We learned the three types of blotting technique. What are they? Northern blotting technique, southern blotting technique, and western blotting technique. What is northern blotting technique? For isolating the DNA, it is called as northern blotting technique. If you want to take the RNA separation, it is useful for that southern blotting technique. Or if we want to isolate the protein, then we can go for the western blotting technique. Okay, so this blotting technique is followed by the gel electrophoresis. So gel electrophoresis we learned up to 5 steps, no? So after the step, if we have to go for blotting technique, so in the blotting technique certain procedure is there. Come, let's learn that procedure technique. Okay, so what we at last what we had, the gel we had, no? So now that gel has to be taken now. So that particular, so now we in the electrophoresis we have separated. First we separated based on the pH, based on the pH, that is PI. That is what, based on the the electric gradient. Based on the electric gradient we separated the DNA, and it is followed by the separation of density gradient. So now by means of this two method we separated the DNA. Now the gel block we need. So for this we need a glass container. So this glass container, and we need a glass block. Okay, so this glass block. Now we have to place a filter paper. We need a filter paper. We have to place this on the glass block, and we have to fill the buffer solution. So only the few buffer solution, only the base of the filter paper has to wet. So we have to take the buffer solution. So the buffer solution start to absorb the liquid, so that the filter paper will absorb the liquid. Then we have to place here that gel. Next we have to place the agarose gel. So where we separated the DNA fragment. So here we separated the DNA fragment. So this we need. We have to keep the agarose gel on the top. So this is glass block, this is buffer solution, and this is filter paper, and this is gel, that is agarose gel block, which is having the DNA strand. With the help of the agarose gel we have separated the DNA fragment. So above that we have to keep a nitrocellulose, that is what, that nitrocellulose membrane. So we need a nitrocellulose membrane. Nitrocellulose membrane. So above that we have to keep some tissue papers or filter papers. For some layers we have to keep the filter paper, and then we have to place a weight over it. We have to keep a weight over it. So by this process what happens? First the buffer will be absorbed by the filter paper. So because of the affinity. So here that through the filter paper, the buffer will be absorbed by the filter paper, and then from the filter paper, the buffer solution will start to move through the agarose gel, and it moves the nitrocellulose that is membrane. So while it moving, that the DNA fragments also moves along with the buffer solution. So now because of this process, because of the affinity process, the DNA fragments will move toward the nitrocellulose membrane. So if it moves, again the water will be there, that buffer solution will be absorbed by the, so only the buffer solution is, then after that the buffer solution is absorbed by the filter paper. So the remaining DNA strand alone you will be getting in the nitrocellulose, that membrane. Okay, so this nitrocellulose membrane, we will get only the DNA fragment. So now this paper can be preserved, and for the further further notification or further verification, we can keep it permanently for our security. Okay, so this is called as what? Blotting technique. This is called as blotting technique. So for all the three common western blotting, northern blotting and southern blotting, for all the three steps, this blotting technique will be used. So for that we have taken what it is, a glass container. So the glass container, we have to keep a glass block. So this glass, above the glass block, we are keeping a filter paper. So this filter paper, the few only the few layer, the bottom layer only touching the buffer solution, has to touch the buffer solutions. Once the filter paper touches the buffer solution, it will be absorbed by the filter paper and it reaching the cellulose, that is what agarose gel. So agarose gel is contained DNA segregations or DNA fragments. So this buffer solution, while it moving from down to upward, so along with the buffer solution, the DNA fragment also moves and go and bind with the nitrocellulose membrane. So this from the nitrocellulose membrane, only the buffer solution will be absorbed by the filter paper. So only the DNA fragments alone will be collected in the that nitrocellulose membrane. So we can keep it for further preservation. So this is called as blotting technique. Children, so next one is bioassay for target gene. Bioassay for target gene. So what is meant by bioassay of target gene? So this gene is called as target gene or passenger gene or foreign gene or gene of interest, whatever it may be. So in some of the cells will be having the DNA fragment. So it having the DNA fragment. So we need a function of a specific gene. If you want to need a function of specific gene, suppose this is a gene A. Consider this is gene A or this is gene F. So if you want to know a specific gene's function, if you want to know the specific gene function, how you will know? If you know the function of the particular gene, then only we can, for example, suppose if we after knowing the insulin gene only, we are now inserting the insulin gene and we are producing more insulin hormone. Like that, if we know the function of particular gene, it is easy for us to produce if the deficiency occurs. Okay, for that only we are choosing this bioassay of target gene. So it can be done by, so this process will be three processes are there: knockout gene, or the gene knockout, or gene knockdown, or gene knock in. So what is gene knockout? We have to send it out. So if we don't want, we have to take it out. and gene down means we have to make them silent, or gene knock in means make them to get inside. So but like 3 steps are there. So now in your book only gene knockout they have given. So in gene knockout we have to find out the function of the gene. It has to be replaced out. It has to be replaced out by means of 2 methods. One by insertion of vector or by replacement of vector. One by insertion of vector or by replacement of vector. So now this is a cell. So inside the cell the DNA fragment is having this F type of segment, the F gene. So now we want the function of this F gene. So for that we have to insert a vector. We have to insert a vector inside. So vector should be have some other known gene. Suppose if I am inserting the G gene in the vector. So this is a vector. In vector I am inserting the G gene. What gene? So now this vector should be allowed to enter inside the cell. This vector should be allowed to enter inside the cell. While the vector moves, this particular gene will be getting exchanged. Particular gene will start to exchange. So then what happens after that? So this strand will be exchanged with G, and this strand, this DNA fragment will be exchanged with the F. So because of this process, we are knocking out the F gene. So instead of the F gene, so suppose if you are only removing the F1 or not replacing the G, so the DNA fragment will lose its function. To avoid it, we have to knock out the gene F. Instead of that, we are placing G, known gene G. Okay. So now because of replacing that, now the cell will be having without the F genes. It only having the G genes, not having the F genes. So after this process, so this will be having only the G. Understood, children? Now because of taken out of F1, because of taken out the F, so this cell will having some deficiencies. Some of the function will be changed. Some of the characters have changed. By finding the structural change, we can finally conclude that because of the lack of the F gene. So then we can find the function of the F gene. So this is the method of bioassay of target gene. This is a method called bioassay of target gene. Children understood? So now we learned that blotting technique. So what is a blotting technique? So from the agarose gel, so if you are leaving the agarose gel, it will get dry and it is waste only. So if you want to store it for prolonged period, for long duration, so this method will be taken. For nitrocellulose membrane will be taken. So from the agarose gel, the DNA fragments will be transferred to the nitrocellulose gel membrane, and it will be preserved for prolonged uses. Okay, so that is called as blotting technique. So already 3 techniques are there, three things are there. What is this? Northern, southern and western, based on the DNA, RNA and protein. And next one we learned that bioassay of target. So finding the function of particular gene, we can go for this technique. So what are the cells can be identified? The target DNA can be identified, the passenger DNA can be identified, the foreign DNA, gene of interest, what we want to do, which gene we want to get in or which gene want to find out. So all those things can be done, and this process is called as knockout, gene knockout. This process is called as gene knockout. And next we will see the next steps in the screening of recombination. Children, now we are going to learn about the genome sequencing. Genome sequencing. So do you know what is genome sequencing? So arranging all the genome of particular plants, all the genomes of the plants. That, for example, if a class 100 students are there, na, all the genome of 100 students should be collected. If entire school student genome will be collected, like that their gene pools, we can call it as a gene pool like that. So like genome means a whole complement of genes should be collected and it is sequenced, arranged and stored. So it is called as genome sequencing. And nuclear, mitochondrial, plasmid genomes also included in that. And both this genome sequencing will be having both functional and non-expressive DNA for protein also is there in the DNA sequencing. Okay. And next one, it is useful for, already I said it is analyzed. We have to analyze the genome and we have to sequencing it, the whole genome of the plant. So it is the main target of the genome sequencing. And after analyzing and after collecting the all informations of the genome, it has to be expressed in number of base pairs. It has to be registered in as per the number of base pairs or by means of C values, So this is called about the genomic sequencing. That is what the whole genome content should be analyzed and it should be sequenced and it should be stored in the computer for further use, for future use is called as, that is what genome sequencing. And next one is called as barcode. Children, do you know what is barcode? While you collecting or while you buying or purchasing materials from the shop, so instead of writing the billing or seeing the price, they are using the barcoding or digital barcoding. Just by pressing it, that every details will be read by the machines. Okay, so it is an optical machine readable of. Here now we use that for finding the rate of the objects or that things only. But nowadays it is available, it is even for the plants. So it is barcoding. So if we know the barcode, all the informations of the plant and object, any objects can be easily readable. So that is called as barcode. We are already experiencing in the non-living object that, but that is available for the plants and other objects too. And next one we are going to learn about the evolutionary pattern assessment. Evolutionary pattern assessed using the DNA. So we have to find the evolutionary relationship of the plants or animals. Information has to be collected by means of evolutionary relationship. By using the detail that cladogram will be constructed. You know what is cladogram? That is evolutionary tree. It is said to be cladogram. So by drawing the cladogram, that we can find the genetic distance of two taxa. So by comparing the two cladogram, detail of two cladogram, we can conclude the distance. What is the how they are related? How what are the similarities and dissimilarities? Everything we can be calculated by using the evolutionary pattern assessed using the DNA. Okay, and next one is genome editing or CRISPR-Cas9. So it is called as CRISPR-Cas9. So sometimes if they were asked in 2 marks, you should know to write it. So it is nothing but it is easy and it is feasible and it's very cheapest method of altering the gene. Whatever we need, whatever characters we need, we can bring it in the plants. Okay, so that is called as what? Genome editing. What is editing? So we can change whatever as per our need, as per our necessity, we can do any addition. So like that in the genome, we can change the DNA, the patterns or by adding or deleting or by we learned that ploidy or we learned that chromosomal aberrations, everything, no, by adding, deletion and by reverse or by translocation, transcription, by any method we can use and we can do alter the DNA sequence by using the step. It is called as, the full form is clustered regularly inspect short palindromic repeats. So by this method, so this is a method they are used to do the changes in the DNA sequencing. So and also they got success in that. So in that is it is first species who did the alteration or who edited the genome sequence is first in the species rice. So Imitiaz and Venkatesan. So they are colleagues, and they did the hybrid of they did the alteration in the maize, that is rice variety, and they converted the sexual rice plant into asexual right plant. Convert the sexual plant into asexual right plant. Okay. So now you understood. I hope you understood about the genome sequencing. What is genome sequencing? Analyzing and arranging the entire total population genome is called as what? Genome sequencing. For the further use, it is expressed in the form of base pairs or expressed in the form of C value. And next one, barcoding, like finding the it is an optical machine readable readable object which is used to find the details of plants and even all the objects. So like we are already practiced in the objects in the shops. And next is evolutionary pattern assessed using the DNA. So by getting the evolutionary informations, evolutionary relationship, the cladogram will be constructed. By constructing the comparing the cladogram, we can find the distance of two taxa. And that one, the genome editing or CRISPR or Cas9 is nothing but it is an editor. We can alter the genome as per our need. So that's why it is successfully they first done that in the species of rice. And Imitiaz and Venkatesan are the two researchers. They are colleagues, and they used the technique and they converted the sexual rice plant into asexual rice plant. Is it good or not? So anyway, we are getting benefits based on the genetics, based on the biotechnology. So next step we will see in the next video. Children, next we are going to learn about the RNA interference. So RNA interference, before RNA interference, we should know the central dogma. Do you know what is central dogma? It is given by the scientist Gray. So that this is the word dogma. The DNA can replicate themselves. So DNA can replicate themselves. Okay, DNA strand will replicate themselves. Okay, replicate themselves. Okay, now from the DNA, the informations are copied by the mRNA, and from the mRNA, by the process of translation, the protein will be synthesized. So this is the normally in our cells this will be takes place. So the information from the DNA is copied by the mRNA by means of process called as transcription, and from the information of mRNA that will go and make the production of protein is called as translation. Okay, now because of the interference of RNA, some of the target RNA will be breaking some of the target mRNA, and then the protein production will be stopped. Stopping the protein production. So this is called as RNA interference. So here this process is called as silencing. And this interference is called as mRNA mediated gene sequencing. Nothing but normally the DNA, from the DNA the information is collected by the mRNA, and from the mRNA the protein will be synthesized. Now main target is mRNA. If you are using silencing method, if you are targeting the mRNA should be targeted to stop its production. How can we stop its production? By breaking its mRNA, we can stop the production of protein. So that is called as RNA interference. Here, what are the things are involved in the silencing process? So normally in the cells maximum RNA will be there. So in some case, there is the formation of double-stranded RNA. So maximum RNA will be having the single strand. In some case, the RNA will be having double-stranded. So then it will be divided, then it forms these three types of RNA. So if in case it forms the double-stranded RNA, if double-stranded RNA is formed, it will be forms three types of RNA. So first one is siRNA, second one is miRNA, and third one is shRNA. Okay, so siRNA, miRNA, shRNA. Who split the dRNA into these three forms? That is a enzyme called as dicer. It is RNA third enzymes. And this will be dividing this, splitting the double-stranded RNA into siRNA, miRNA, and shRNA. So first you should know what is siRNA. siRNA means small interfering RNA, mi means micro RNA, shRNA means small hairpin RNA. Okay, so this is the three small RNAs which is formed by the double stranded RNA by means of the dicer RNAs. Okay, and next one. So now from any one of the small RNA will be attacking the mRNA to stop the production of protein. This process is called as silencing. This is called as silencing. Okay, and because of this it is called as mRNA mediated gene sequencing. And here how it takes place, how the scientists are doing this function, that they are using the risks. What is called as risk abhina? So it is used, the scientists are combining RNA along with certain proteins. They are combining RNA with some proteins, and then they splitting, they will be attacking the mRNA. Okay, so what will be the protein? What would be the protein? If the protein would be silencer or agronet. Children, up to this clear? So first of all, what we should know the central dogma. What is central dogma? That normally in our cells, from the DNA, the informations will be copied to the mRNA by means of transcription, and by translation the protein will be synthesized. Normally by using the RNA interference, we are attacking the mRNA to stop the production of protein for certain purpose. Why they are doing, and what is the practical use of practically experiment we will learn now. Okay, so before that should know, understand. So here which will be acting as a doing the silencer function, that will be the double stranded RNA. It is very rare case. If the double stranded RNA is formed, it is cutted by the dicer and forming the three types of mRNA, siRNA, miRNA and shRNA. So based on the shape it got the name. Okay, so then these RNA will be silencing the mRNA and stop the production of protein. And so which complex they are using? RISC, risk. So what is mean by risk is nothing but any one of the mRNA. So any one of the mRNA along with certain type of proteins. That proteins can be the silencer, or it can be maybe the argonet. Okay, so these will involving act as a silencer, silencing process, and it will be stop the production of protein by the mRNA. So this is called as the RNA interference. Let's learn the practical experience how they did in the plant. Children, let's see how the RNA interference, RNAi means RNA interference, how they are practically applying this RNA, and they are bringing the pest resistant in the transgenic plant. So in a tobacco plant, that is Melodognia incognitia. It is a type of nematode. This nematode attacked the root of the tobacco plant. That is a host for the nematode. Okay, it attacked the root of the tobacco plants and reduced the yield of the tobacco plant. So because of that, Fire and Mello in 1998, they introduced the nematode specific gene by using the TI plasmid. So Agrobacterium tumefaciens is from the variety, the TI plasmid will be taken. That is, it is a bacteria. Agrobacterium tumefaciens is a bacteria. From the bacteria, the plasmid will be collected. It acts as a vector. It has a vehicle, and in the vehicle, they are introducing the nematode specific gene. This nematode specific gene is having both sense and antisense RNA. That's why it forming the double stranded RNA. So because of that, so they are using the gene transfer method and bringing the pest resistant in the tobacco plant. Come, let's learn how the process will be going on. So here now, after production of the double stranded RNA, so now we are introducing the TI plasmid with double stranded RNA into the plant. So in the plant, if your sRNA comes, the double stranded RNA comes, immediately the dicer will cut the double stranded RNA into siRNA. You already know what is siRNA. It is a double stranded RNA, if cut, it forms 3 types of RNA. No? One of the RNA is double stranded, the siRNA. So now this double stranded siRNA combined with some protein and forming the complex is called as RISC. So what is RISC? RISC means, so what is the RISC? You know now, already we learned. So that it forms the RISC protein complex. Now this RISC protein complex, up to this it takes place in the plant. Up to this it takes place in the plant. While it the leaf of the RISC plant, transgenic plant, is eat by the nematode. Now this RISC complex will get enter inside the stomach of the nematode. While it goes inside, the siRNA getting unwinding, the double stranded will get unwinded and it turns into single strand. While it turns into single strand, they get activated. If they get activated, they go and bind with the mRNA of the nematode. mRNA of the nematode. This is the mRNA. mRNA of the nematode, and stop the production of protein. It cut off the protein. It cut off the mRNA and stop the production of. So it will target mRNA, start to cleave. So thereby stops the production of protein. If protein is not that is produced by the mRNA of the nematode start to can't survive, it will die. It will die. This is the process of transgenic plant by introduced the nematode specific gene and by using the RNA interference. So here RNA, so it's, that is RNA induced silencing complex. RNA induced silencing complex. So what does RISC means? RNA induced silencing complex. So 2 mark question. Okay. So this is about the bringing the pest resistant in the tobacco plant. Who did this? Fire and Mello in 1998. Which gene they are selecting? Nematode specific gene that will be producing the double stranded RNA that will be cut off by means of dicer and forming the siRNA. Now this siRNA along with protein, it forms the complex. Now this complex will enter into the stomach of nematode. It get unwinded and activated and it bind with the mRNA of the nematode and stop the production of protein. Thereby it kills the nematode. So I hope you all understood about the today's lesson. What we learned, we started with the blotting continuation and we learned lot of other screening methods of finding the target DNA. And at here we ended with the pest resistant transgenic plant in the tobacco. Children, we'll see in the next class. Thank you.